Alright gamers, what's up? Welcome back to the second channel after what, 2 years at this point? Sorry. Today I want to talk about something that happened to me and like 50,000 other people, I think, around the globe. You might even be one of them because you're watching this video about a Rocket League tournament, in which case, just let me know. I'm gonna send you a briefcase full of money. This is true. Now, you may or may not know about this if you're directly acquainted with me or my main channel, but I am a huge Rocket League loser. I've kept up with the RLCS, the RLRS when it was a thing, most minor tournaments, player transfers, drama. I tried to play on it once, ever since 2017. Needless to say, I've seen things and remember things most normal people who played this game would simply not give a shit about. And what I'm about to say is certainly one of them, so strap up. Today we're going in depth into the recently finished and severely stupid Rocket League Raleigh Major. Why was the Raleigh Major stupid? Because it was dumb. Why was it dumb? It was stupid. It wasn't bad. A lot of stupid happened, but not bad, not in a bad sense. In fact, the tournament itself was really good. It was really technically impressive. It was a huge display of Rocket League skill, but if you also watched the tournament like I did, you probably agree with me that it was the stupidest tournament to probably ever exist. In a very good sense of the word stupid. This video is gonna be dumb, this video is gonna be messy, and probably not well organized in the slightest. I'm gonna try to not miss any relevant information. If I miss anything, I'll try to leave notes on screen right here, so try to keep up. So the Rocket League Raleigh Major took place in what else but Raleigh, in the Lenovo Center, and it featured initially a 16-team best-of-5 Swiss stage, where the top 8 teams advanced and the bottom 8 were automatically disqualified. Then playoffs in the AFL final system, which I didn't know had a name. The top 4 gets 2 chances, bottom 4 gets 1, and then semifinals and finals are single elimination. Here's the bracket to better illustrate. If you didn't get that, I don't care. So, day 1, Swiss stage. I didn't really pay attention to anything leading up to this tournament. After regionals were over, I just kind of turned off. I was actually telling one of my friends I was surprised to care so little about a Rocket League tournament, which is usually something I care a lot about. Maybe I'm finally getting old at my ripe age of 21. So taking a look at this Swiss stage, all I knew were the teams that qualified, and barely at that. I didn't know about any of the Oceania teams. I didn't know who was in Virtus Pro. Is Virtus Pro in Rocket League right now? Something caught my eye. Back in 2024, when I was much more into Rocket League esports than I am currently, I remember Swiss stage in majors being a very rigid structure. During round 1, EU1 would get SSA1, NA1 would get APAC1, I think, and then would go like that from top to bottom, until you get the middle, like the most mediocre teams in terms of performance in their own regions. So I'm just gonna explain then why I was surprised to see that looking at this Swiss stage, I didn't know about the matchups because I didn't look at the matchups beforehand. So I took a look at Raleigh's Swiss bracket like 2 hours before the tournament started, and I'm like, okay, surely there's an explanation for this, but why is it that NA is just playing against each other while every other region isn't? If you take a look here, you're gonna see Europe against Middle East, Europe against Africa, South America against Oceania, Europe against Asia, and then NA versus NA versus NA, and then Middle East versus South America, and then Europe versus Oceania. What is this? Why did this happen? Again, I'm sure there's a reason for this, but I think you're gonna come to see and understand that Swiss in itself wasn't really all that kind to North American teams, and it started, I think, here with getting team kills already. Or more like North American teams weren't kind to themselves in the first place. Despite this, everything that was supposed to happen in round 1 of Swiss, as always, kind of happened. The teams that you expected to win won, and it was all sweeps, and if not a sweep, it was a 3-1. Rarely does a 3-2 or an upset win actually happen on Swiss. So wow, is this major also going to be incredibly samey and boring and going to feature the same fucking top 8 as always? Well, wait and see. You gonna rush or something? Don't rush this, hold on. For Swiss stage, round 2, I want you to meet one of our participants in specific. We're gonna go a lot of others later on. But here's Team Foot. Mostly everyone just calls them Team Foot. I digress. No one likes Team Foot. Not the org, but the players. And every time it's them playing it on stream, it's 90% hate watching. A brilliant move by Epic Games to attract more viewers, I'm sure. And in round 2, let's just say I hate watched on Team Foot like I never did before. You have no fucking idea. Foot paired up against SSG, and let's just say it was weirdly and surprisingly close. The two traded overtimes back and forth until game 5 where SSG finally decided to turn on their brains and decided they had enough, and then they served the Brazil. It was a bit scary, but it was also cathartic. Surely this spells good things for SSG. Anyway, if we took a look at the rest of round 2, Falcons beat Dignitas, Vitality beat Furia, sadly. NRG beat Mates, JNG beat Virtus Pro, Twisted Minds beat TSM, and then Team Secret beat Wildcard. And, oh, what's this? Ultimates beat KC. You're just like 2 months too late, guys, I'm sorry. Never mind my irony, this spells like weirdly significant things for both KC and the Ultimates, as we'll come to see later on. Anyway, round 3, and round 3 high is like a place you have like no shame of losing on, right? Round 3 high is where, well, the top 4 teams theoretically at that point are, and like winning or losing here, winning is like very good, but losing is also, you know, no shame in losing. I forgot to mention this before, but you know, winning in both their high matches meant that NA had 2 2-0 teams and 2 1-1 teams, while at that point Vitality was the only European 2-0 team, and the other 2-0 team was Falcons. This spelled at that point, at the end of day 1, very good things for NA, because people were really touting this NA top 4 as like the best NA top 4 that they sent to a major in a pretty long while. You know, it's NRG, it's the team to beat. NRG is the NA team to beat, the kings of North America. It's the Ultimates, the team that were just in the grand finals against K-Corp when they got 2nd place, but they were still in the grand finals. That's incredibly commendable. It's SSG, an incredibly young and talented team that was just like newly reformed. They brought in Kofer, who was playing out of his mind back in 9 Lives. And it's also JNG with Justin. And JNG was doing surprisingly well with Justin on their roster. And Justin, I'm pretty sure, wanted desperately to be back in crowd day at Rally. Again, from the way I'm speaking right now, you probably expect things to be going incredibly poorly for NA going forward. Round 3 mid, both NA teams also lost, and K-Corp struggled a bit against Secret. So they Twisted Minds against Furia. A lot of our protagonists are going to appear here. K-Corp, Secret, Twisted Minds, Ultimates. These are the teams that I'm going to be talking about the most because they are the protagonists of most of our surprises here. KC struggled a bit against Team Secret, but not because K-Corp was playing bad, but mostly because Secret, against the better judgment of anyone who would consider them a bottom 8 team, going into this, and especially after their Birmingham performance, they were playing great. They were playing really well. And also another team who was playing pretty well is essentially my protagonist for this entire tournament, Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds, I think, bombed out of Swiss in Birmingham, but here they were putting up a fight against essentially every team they fought against. And as we'll see later on, this continued going forward, but I'm not going to talk about it all that much. TSM also beat Foot, which is cathartic for me and everyone else. Let's go TSM. I love you, TSM. I always loved TSM. I paid a lot of attention to Oceanic Rocket League. So round 4 high is a lot of crazy matchups, right? NRG versus Twisted Minds, you expect NRG to win, but you don't expect, at this point at least, Twisted Minds to put up such a fight. And, you know, they lost 3-2, but it wasn't as one-sided at any point. And KC also, you know, lost to Dignitas. Dignitas had beaten KC like twice or 3 times by this point, a lot of times in finals, which is, yeah, they won their 2 open finals against K-Corp at this point. It's the only team to beat K-Corp in grand finals over in Europe. So Dignitas, despite, you know, having Stizzy, who hasn't really proved himself in a LAN setting after this point, Dignitas still beat K-Corp and they advance as 3-1, while K-Corp is now 2-2 and is going to play round 5. the first of the two Birmingham finalists to play in round 5 of Swiss. Something that's never happened before, by the way. Last match is Ultimates versus Mates. Mates won the first game, then Ultimates won the second game. During game 3, Ultimates, going into the last 10 seconds of the game, had a 2-0 lead. Then Mates score a goal, it's 2-1 with 9 seconds left. No worries, right? You can always hold this down and then put the ball down at 0 seconds. Then the Gentlemates, they execute like the most perfect iteration of a double fake kickoff I think I've ever seen. It was actually beautiful. I've never seen a kickoff this aesthetically pleasing. They double fake the kickoff, it goes straight to their third man, it goes to the wall, it goes back into the air, and whoever shot that, I forgot whoever shot that, but whoever it was, it shoots it straight in the middle of the net, and no one saves it. It's now 2-2 in game 3, and I don't know how to put this in a more dramatic sense, but Mates, they win, and they still game 3 on 0 seconds by scoring 3 goals in essentially 10 seconds. And then they go on to win game 4. And now Mates is 3-1 as well. Ultimates is the second Birmingham finalist to go down to round 5. Over in low, South America handily beat the entirety of their competition. Secret beat TSM, Furia beat Virtus Pro, and is sadly a team kill between Gen.G and SSG. I don't know which one I actually wanted to proceed more, because I wanted to see both teams actually do well in the tournament, but it ended up being Gen.G who beat SSG. Justin's crowd day hopes are still in the air. So, round 5 of Swiss. This is still day 2, there's no crowd, it's Ultimates versus Secret, Twisted Minds versus Gen.G, and K-Corp versus Furia. From here, you expect a few things, right? You expect Ultimates to handily beat Secret. You expect KC and Furia to be a 5-game shootout, and you expect Twisted Minds versus Gen.G to happen. Let's just say the script writers were really either not friendly or on crack this day. This first match of round 5 is Secret versus the Ultimates. I don't know how else to put this, but Ultimates, the grand finalists of the last major, they got eliminated by South America 2. What makes this even more weird is how KC eliminated South America 1. Furia was top 4, I'm pretty sure, in Birmingham, and Secret didn't even get out of Swiss, and now Secret is in the bracket and Furia is not. Twisted Minds swept Gen.G as well, marking definitely the culling of the best top 4 NA could have sent. And it was sad to see. I really like North American Rocket League because I think it's way more chaotic and frantic than European Rocket League. That's my opinion, at least. It was sad to see, but also I think it just kind of signaled more chaotic things to come out during the bracket. So here's our top 8. It's Falcons, Vitality, NRG, Dignitas, Gentlemates, K-Corp, Twisted Minds, and Secret. No Ultimates, no Furia, no Space Station, and no Justin in Crowd Day. But well, thankfully the chaotic nature of this tournament will still seem to continue because there's 2 more days of playoffs to be played. You know, if it was left just at what happened on Swiss, I would have not made this video, because just talking about a chaotic Swiss that happened wouldn't be all that interesting. Like, sure, this Swiss was particularly chaotic and weird. I don't know if I did a lot of justice to what really happened. Just in case, I think I'm gonna list everything that I think was weird, like on screen right now, so I don't hopefully forget to talk about anything. But, you know, Swiss is a very chaotic format in itself, and a lot of things that happen on Swiss are just part of the matchups and what happens due to only 8 teams making it through, and winning teams having to play winning teams and losing teams having to play losing teams. It's part of this. It's part of the format. It's part of the system. But if it was left just at that, I wouldn't make a video on this. But it wasn't. It wasn't. Rally, the script writers for Rally, they were just, something was happening. during the script writing process for Rally. The first match of lower bracket round 1 is already insane to think about. It's just weird to say. It's K-Corp versus Twisted Minds. Nobody in their right mind wants to be placed in lower bracket round 1. But it happened, and now K-Corp is here, and now they have to deal with this. K-Corp wins 1 game, 2 games, and forces a timeout from Twisted Minds. And then after the timeout from Twisted Minds, K-Corp beats them 5-0. Playing against K-Corp is already oppressive enough, right? And now they are 3-0 against you in games. You have to win 3 straight in order to even have a chance at a reverse sweep on LAN in a best of 7, which has only happened at this point once. Never mind that, never mind the improbability of that happening in general. You're playing against K-Corp, one of the most oppressive teams this entire tournament has. The EU team to beat, like, it's EU1, and, you know, we've seen they can bleed before, but surely they just need to win 1 more game to put this through. So Twisted Minds comes in. I don't know what they were feeling. I don't know what was going on through their minds right now, but they come in and they take a game off of K-Corp. It's now 3-1. And then in game 5, they steal it with a 5-second overtime goal. And then they force the timeout from K-Corp. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands. K-Corp comes back from the timeout supposedly refreshed, but it's still not enough. And Twisted Minds ties the series 3-3. By now, everyone is losing their minds in chat. The casters are losing their minds. A best of 7 reverse sweep, they said it happened once, at an RLCS LAN specifically. They said it happened once. I don't know when, but they said it happened once. And I don't know how to put this. This was the second one. Against all the odds, against the better judgment of everyone, against probably even what the players were thinking about. Twisted Minds, Mina 2, they bounce back and they reverse sweep K-Corp. On LAN, in front of the crowd, in a best of 7, in incredibly convincing fashion. During game 7, I remember, if I remember correctly, it was like Twisted Minds scored once and then K-Corp brought it back to 2-1. And during this kickoff, when they were up 2-1, Nupo just scored an open net to bring it 2-2. And also, during like game 4, I'm pretty sure the turning point for Twisted Minds, I think, was a double commit save they had on a clean double tap from, I think, a Tau or Drally or someone from K-Corp like that. I don't think it was Vatira, I'm not sure actually. Like, if they didn't do that, I'm pretty sure they would have lost 4-0 right then and there, if I remember correctly, that is. Rally just keeps surprising us, and it's gonna keep surprising us more and more. Right after this, Secret played Gentlemates Alpine, and like, surely Rally doesn't have any more surprises in the box for us, right? What is supposed to happen here is that Secret, South American 2, puts up a fight, sure, but Gentlemates, at the end of it all, they have Seiko, they have a world champion Seiko, they have Eugen, who's been popping off, and they also have, who's their third, I forgot their third, shit, I forgot Mate's third. Juicy. Reasonably, you expect Alpine to win, but seeing how Secret has been playing, and seeing how they beat Ultimates, and how they almost beat K-Corp, you don't expect anything else going in. It's more correct to like not expect anything going into any match in this tournament. Secret comes out and they go up 3-1 in games, very convincingly. It's not that Gentlemates were playing bad, it's that Secret was playing really good. The mates, they bring it back to 3-2, but it's not enough. And Secret in Neo Tokyo in game 6 defeat Gentlemates Alpine 4-2. And so here's your top 6. During the same day, we also played upper bracket quarterfinals, and this is like 2 matchups that anyone can win, anyone can lose, but you also didn't expect them both to be complete blowouts in 2 sweeps. It was weird, it was rather disappointing. Dignitas versus Falcons, like, nothing seemed to go right for Dignitas, and yeah. Coming into the last day of the bracket, it's now Championship Sunday. And the crowd is rather sad because NRG is the only NA team. But that doesn't mean they're gonna stop rooting for NRG. Well, fucking opposite, actually. Everyone's rooting for NRG at this point. The same people that were rooting for Twisted Minds against K-Corp. But that didn't seem to demoralize Twisted Minds in any way. Twisted Minds went up 2-0 against NRG and forced their timeout. And by now, everyone's already expecting, yep, this major is completely scuffed. Everything that's not supposed to happen, it's actually happening, right? NRG calls a timeout and they win the next match. And then Twisted Minds wins the next match. They are now up 3-1. After beating EU1, they are actually on the verge of defeating NA1, the last hope for NA. And like if they win this, if Twisted Minds win this, they are guaranteed to have one Middle Eastern team in the finals. The finals is going to be MENA versus EU, or in a miracle, MENA versus SAM. But, well, Rally just surprises us even more. NRG suddenly, like, bounced back, and they won 4-3. And they had the entire crowd on their back. It was deafening, even from, like, a spectator perspective. It was very loud. People really wanted NRG to win. NRG won. NRG played amazing. Twisted Minds, amazing run as well. They played fantastic against K-Corp. They played fantastic against NRG. But at the end of it all, NRG is still a clutch team. Well, so is K-Corp, but NRG isn't home soil, at least. Wow, Rally is providing us some incredible matchups up to this point. I wonder what's in store for Secret versus Dignitas. Yeah, not much actually. It was a very aneurysm-inducing game. I don't know what to say about the Secret versus Dignitas matchup, but what I know I should talk about is this. Picture the scene. You just observed a shootout between NRG and Twisted Minds, right? You just watched some of the best Rocket League players in the world play some of the best Rocket League in the world. You saw NRG claw their way back to a victory against the dark horse of this tournament. And what do you have next as a reward for that? God fucking damn it, Gibbs is walking up to the stage and he's got that chalked cast jersey. That's right, baby, it's again First Touch versus Chalked Cast. The mid-off to end all mid-offs, as Stax put it. This loosely resembles Rocket League. And like, look at this redirect. look at this redirect from Gibbs. He himself didn't believe it. You look at the cams from First Touch, they themselves didn't fucking believe what happened. Gibbs was popping off. This match was incredibly entertaining as well. And like, I don't know how people just don't like this. I love this match so much. It was so fun. First Touch ended up losing. It's now tied 1-1 in what the fuck am I saying? It's now tied 1-1 in their match history. I don't know why Johnny Boy wasn't there. I don't know why Rizzo wasn't also there. Especially considering Rizzo is North American. So like, Garrett G played in his place. Dignitas vs Vitality was amazing. Steezy was clutching up at the best possible moments. And, you know, they beat Vitality again. And people always don't expect them to beat Vitality, but they keep beating Vitality. And then the grand finals is Falcons versus Dignitas. It was an incredible match as well. And I'm just thinking here to myself, what better way to put the cherry on top of this incredibly stupid but also very tasty Rocket League cake, to have a non-EU or non-NA team to win the tournament. Falcons won the entire thing. Very convincingly. They 1,000% deserved it. And after so long as well. Killiers played out of his mind. He got MVP, and very rightfully. He destroyed the world record for goals per game. He surpassed Season 1 Kronovi, who had 1.5 and got a 1.8 goals per game. Falcons also had the second ever perfect split before Worlds, right after 2023 Vitality. They won Open 4, Open 5, and Open 6 over in their region, and they also won this major, and like, fuck, they didn't lose a single match. Again, also their first ever RLCS split win after getting second place twice in the past years, and also, again, it was a perfect split. Wow, I talked a lot. I talked a lot about this major. This was probably, in my mind, the best RLCS tournament in a while to watch. Nothing really compares in my recent memory, and I love this major for that. Thanks Raleigh, thanks Twisted Minds, thanks Secret, and thank you everyone else for providing such a cathartic experience to look at. If you haven't, for some reason, either go watch the entire VOD again if you have the time and patience for that. If not, go watch the match highlights. And if you're looking for specific matches to watch, here's my matches to watch in this tournament. You have to go watch Twisted Minds vs K-Corp. You have to watch NRG versus Twisted Minds, both matches. You have to watch Secret versus Ultimates. You have to watch the finals, Falcons versus Dig. And by God, you have to watch First Touch versus Chalkedcast. I have no way to finish this. I just want to say that Raleigh was a blast, and I'm sad I wasn't there. I'm really looking forward to Worlds, which I will also not be in because it's in France. Unless you want to hook me up with tickets to Lyon, I have an email for that. You can send me tickets to Lyon through my email. Alright, yeah, I think that's it for today. Wait for uploads in the main channel. They're gonna come eventually, I'm pretty sure. I've been talking for way longer than I expected. I'm sorry. Bye-bye.